I'm using a different voice for this video. Let me know in the comments if y'all like it or not. Your feedback really helps me improve. I appreciate all the support. These stories come from various sources, articles, the internet, and first-hand accounts. The truckers who experienced these incidents claim they're real. Whether you believe them or not is up to you. Sit back, relax, and let's dive into some truly unsettling trucker experiences.
I've been driving trucks for 18 years, and I've seen some weird shit. Deer that shouldn't have been alive, lights in the sky that didn't make sense, a guy in Nevada eating roadkill like it was Thanksgiving. But nothing compares to what I saw on I-10 near Van Horn, Texas, at 3 a.m. on November 14th, 2017. I've got 5 seconds of dashcam footage that still makes my skin crawl, and I'm posting this because I need someone to tell me I'm not losing it. This wasn't a trick of the light or a sleep-deprived hallucination. She was real. And then she wasn't. I was hauling auto parts from El Paso to San Antonio, westbound on I-10, about 20 miles east of Van Horn. It was a cold night, the kind where the desert sucks the heat right out of your bones. The road was dead, no cars, no trucks, just me and the hum of my Peterbilt's engine. My headlights cut through the dark, lighting up the scrub and the endless shoulder. I'd been on the road since noon, popping notos and chugging coffee to stay sharp. I wasn't tired. I wasn't dreaming. I need you to believe that. Then I saw her. She was walking on the right shoulder, a teenage girl in a gray hoodie, hands stuffed in her pockets, head down like she was fighting the wind. No backpack, no flashlight, no nothing. Just her alone, in the middle of nowhere at 3 a.m. My first thought was, what the hell is a kid doing out here? This stretch of I-10 is brutal. Miles of nothing but sand, rocks, and the occasional rattlesnake. No gas stations, no houses, no reason for anyone to be walking. I figured she was stranded, maybe from a wreck I hadn't passed yet. My gut twisted. You don't leave a kid out there to die. I eased off the gas, slowing from 65 to 40, then 20. My high beams caught her better, pale skin, dark hair spilling out of the hood, jeans faded and torn at the knees. She didn't look up, didn't wave, just kept walking, steady and slow. I flipped on my hazards and pulled onto the shoulder, gravel crunching under the tires. The engine rumbled as I killed the lights, leaving just the amber glow of my markers. I grabbed my flashlight and hopped out, the cold biting my face. "Hey!" I called, my voice echoing into the void. "You okay? Need a ride?" She didn't stop. Didn't even flinch. Just kept walking, maybe 30 yards ahead. I started toward her, boots crunching on the dirt. "Hey kid, it's freezing out here. You hurt or something?" "Nothing." My beam swept the ground. No tracks, no skid marks, no sign of a car. Just her, moving like she had somewhere to be. That's when it hit me. Something was off. The air felt heavy, like it was pressing down on my chest. My CB radio crackled behind me, static popping even though I'd turned it off. I glanced back at the truck, then at her. She was closer now, maybe 20 yards, but I hadn't seen her turn or speed up. My heart kicked into overdrive. "Last chance, kid. I'm not leaving you out here." And then she was gone. Not like she ducked or ran. There was nowhere to go. No ditch, no bushes, just flat, open desert. She was there, and then she wasn't. My flashlight beam shook as I swept it around, catching nothing but dust and shadows. I stood there, breath fogging in the air, waiting for my brain to catch up. Did I imagine her? Was I that tired? But I knew I'd seen her. I could still picture the way her hoodie swayed, the scuff on her left sneaker. I stumbled back to the cab, hands shaking as I climbed in. My dashcam light blinked green, still recording. I rewound the footage, praying it caught something. And it did. 5 seconds, timestamped 3:02 a.m. There she was clear as day, walking the shoulder. Frame by frame, she moved, head down, hands in pockets, then flickered like a bad TV signal and vanished. No blur, no fade, just gone. I played it again. And again. Each time, my stomach sank deeper. I didn't sleep that night. Dropped my load in San Antonio, fueled up, and drove straight back to Van Horn. I had to know. I hit up a diner off the highway, the kind with cracked vinyl booths and waitresses who've seen it all. I asked about the girl. The lady behind the counter, Maria, her name tag said, went quiet when I described her. "You saw her too, huh?" she said, pouring me coffee I didn't ask for. "Folks been seeing that girl out there since the 90s. Teenager, hoodie walking west. Never stops, never talks. Just disappears. I leaned in, voice low. What's her deal? Maria shrugged, but her eyes were sharp. Story goes she was 16, ran away from home in '94. Hitchhiked out of Van Horn, got picked up by some creep. Cops found her stuff in a ditch off I-10 a week later, backpack, shoes, a mixtape. Never found her. People say she's still out there, looking for a ride that won't kill her. I didn't tell Maria about the footage. Didn't want her thinking I was crazy. But I couldn't shake it. That night, I posted about it on a trucker forum, Overdrive Online if you're curious. Figured someone else had to have seen her. 2 days later, a guy named RoadDog77 replied, "Same girl, same spot, November 2015. Pulled over to help, she vanished. Dashcam didn't catch shit, thought I was nuts. You're not alone, man. That should have been it. A ghost story to tell at truck stops, a clip to spook my buddies. But it wasn't. Because last week, I found something that turned this from creepy to wrong. I was cleaning out my rig, going through old USBs, when I found the dashcam file, labeled I-10_girl_11-14-17. I hadn't watched it in years. Popped it into my laptop, expecting the same 5 seconds. And there she was, hoodie, jeans, walking. But this time, I noticed something I'd missed. In the last frame, right before she flickered out, her head turned. Just a little. Enough to show her face. I froze the frame, zoomed in. Her eyes were black, solid black, no whites, no shine. Her mouth was open, like she was screaming, but there'd been no sound. My hands went cold. I'd never seen that before. I swear, in 2017, she hadn't turned. I'd watched that clip 100 times. Was my memory shot? Or had the file changed? I dug deeper. Searched X for I-10 Van Horn ghost. Found a post from 2022. A trucker claiming he saw her, same description, but she waved at him before vanishing. Another from 2019 said she stepped into the road, forcing him to swerve. Each story was a little different, like she was evolving. I called RoadDog77, real name's Mike, turns out. He's still driving, still spooked. He swore his cam showed nothing, but when I told him about her face, he went quiet. Mine didn't catch her, he said. But I saw her eyes that night. Black as tar. I didn't tell anyone. Here's the twist, the part that's keeping me up. I drove that stretch again last month, March 2025. Couldn't help it. I had a load going through Van Horn, and I needed to see. It was 2:58 a.m., same cold, same quiet. I kept my eyes on the shoulder, dashcam rolling. At 3:02 there she was. Same hoodie, same walk. I didn't stop this time, just watched, heart pounding. She didn't vanish. She stopped, turned, and looked right at me. Those black eyes locked on mine through the windshield. My CB screamed static, my lights flickered, and the temp in the cab dropped so fast my breath fogged. I floored it. Didn't look back. When I checked the footage later, it was corrupted. 2 minutes of snow, no girl, no nothing. But I know she was there. And I know she saw me. I've got the 2017 clip saved, the one with her face. I'm not posting it, don't want her finding me again. But I'm done with I-10. I rear out every load now, even if it costs me. Maria says she's a lost soul, stuck in a loop. Mike thinks she's hunting, picking drivers one by one. Me? I think she's waiting. For what? I don't know. If you're driving I-10 near Van Horn at night, keep your eyes peeled. She's out there, walking west, and she's not what she seems. Check your dashcam. And if she turns to look at you, run. Some nights, the road doesn't just test you, it claims you. That's what happened to me on January 22nd, 2020, at 1:15 a.m., hauling cattle up I-94 near Bismarck, North Dakota. A blizzard raged, the kind that turns the world into a howling void, and I thought I'd seen the worst of it, until a black dog the size of a steer stepped out of the storm and rewrote everything I thought I knew. I've driven these highways for over 2 decades, logged 1,000,000 miles, but that night etched itself into my bones, a story I can't untell, a shadow I can't outrun. It was late, past midnight, and the storm had turned I-94 into a war zone. Snow blasted the windshield, wipers thrashing uselessly against the onslaught. I was pushing a load of heifers north, Bismarck fading in the rearview, mine it still hours off. The cab smelled of diesel and damp leather, the heater growling to keep the cold at bay. My thermos was empty, but my eyes were sharp, locked on the faint glow of the center line. You don't ease up in weather like that. Not with livestock depending on you, not when every minute costs. Then out of the white chaos it came. A shape, massive, black, alive, bolted across the road. It wasn't a wolf, not a bear, but a dog, bigger than anything with 4 legs should be. My gut screamed calf, but my eyes saw canine, sleek, dark, a nightmare given form. I mashed the brakes, instinct overriding reason. The rig shuddered, tires clawing at ice, the trailer slewing sideways as the cattle bawled in protest. I gripped the wheel, waiting for the crunch, the jolt of impact. Nothing. The dog was gone, swallowed by the storm as if it had never been. I killed the engine, breath ragged, and grabbed my flashlight. The wind hit like a slap when I stepped out, snow stinging my face. I had to see, had to know what I'd almost hit. The beam cut through the blizzard, tracing the road where it had crossed. My tire tracks scarred the snow, jagged and deep, but beyond that, nothing. No paw prints, no smear of fur, no proof. I checked the ditch, the shoulder, even kicked at the drifts. Just white, untouched, silent. The dog had been there. I'd seen it, but the snow said I was a liar. Back in the cab, I sat, hands trembling, replaying it. A hallucination? Fatigue? Then the CB flared to life, static snapping like breaking ice. A voice slid through, steady and close, keep driving. No preamble, no static fade, just those words, spoken by someone who wasn't there. I stared at the mic, untouched, the channel dead for hours. My logbook got it all. January 22nd, 2020, 1:15 a.m., mile marker 158. Black dog, no tracks. CB voice, keep driving. The pen felt heavy, the words heavier. I drove on, the storm unrelenting, the heifers settling into an uneasy quiet. But the night had teeth now, and I felt them at my neck. Every shadow in the snow seemed to move, every gust carried a whisper. I made Minot by sunrise, dropped the load, and holed up at a truck stop off the highway. Sleep was a battle I lost. Each time my eyes closed, that dog loomed, blacker than the dark, watching me. A couple days later, I was at the stop's counter, sipping burnt coffee, when a grizzled driver plopped down beside me. He'd caught me staring out the window, muttering about mile marker 158. The black dog, he rasped, pulling a photo from his coat, a grainy shot of a hulking canine shape on I-94, snow swirling, no tracks. Snapped this in 99. Same stretch. You get the voice too? My jaw tightened. He nodded like he'd expected it, then spun a tale. The black dog of 158, a specter tied to that road, showing up when the storms hit hardest. Some say it's a guide, he said. Others a harbinger. Either way, it picks you. He left the photo on the table and walked out. That picture burned a hole in my pocket after that. I started asking questions, quietly at first, poking around truck stops and diners along I-94. A lot of drivers shrugged it off as road lore, but a few swapped glances and lowered their voices. A cook in Mandan said his dad saw it in '82, right before a bridge iced over and nearly took him out. A woman fueling up in Valley City told me her cousin quit driving after it stared him down in 2007. No tracks, just a voice telling him to go. The stories piled up, each one a thread in a tapestry I didn't want to see whole. The dreams came next. That dog stalked my sleep, padding through blizzards, its eyes like burned-out stars. I'd wake gasping, the words "keep driving" ringing in my ears. By spring, I was back on I-94, hauling lumber, when it flickered again, mile marker 157 this time, a black blur against the dusk. No snow, no storm, just dry road and that thing. I pulled over, checked the pavement. Nothing. No tracks, no sign. I logged it, April 14th, 2020, 6:19 p.m., mile marker 157. Black dog again. No voice. The ink felt like a confession. Was it following me now? I'd heard of drivers picking up echoes, ghosts that clung to rigs like rust. I took a break in June, stayed home in Bismarck, hoping the distance would shake it loose. One night, my hound Buck started barking, low and fierce, at the back door. I grabbed a flashlight, stepped into the yard. A shape moved, big, black, silent, slipping past the fence. Buck whined, tail down. I swept the beam. No prints in the mud, no trace. Just the night, and me, and a shadow that didn't belong. A year later, January 22nd, 2021, I was back on I-94. Couldn't dodge it, the route was set. The sky was clear, stars sharp, but the cold sank deeper than it should have. Mile marker 158 crept up, and there it was, the dog, dead center, unyielding. My hands tightened on the wheel. No braking this time. I gunned it, engine roaring, aiming to prove it wasn't real. It didn't flinch, just melted away as I barreled through, the CB spitting static and that voice softer now. Keep driving. I wrote it down, January 22nd, 2021, 12:57 a.m., mile marker 158. Black dog. Voice again. The logbook's my witness. Its page is a map of something I can't name. It hasn't shown since, but it's not gone. I feel it in the hum of the tires past 158, in the static that crackles when I'm alone. The photo from 99 rides with me tucked in the visor, a tether to that night, to all the nights. Drivers still talk, a warning, a blessing, a curse. I don't know what it is, but it's mine now. The road gave it to me, and it's not giving it back. I keep driving I-94, keep hauling, keep logging the miles. But I listen closer now, when the wind howls, when the CB hums. Some things don't leave tracks, but they leave marks all the same. The first time I saw the Devil's Rig, I thought my eyes were playing tricks. Midnight mirages on a desert road will do that to you. US 50, Nevada's so-called loneliest road in America, isn't just empty. It's a void that swallows sound, light, and sanity if you let it. I'd been driving it for years, hauling freight from Reno to Ely and back, the hum of my Peterbilt's engine my only companion. But March 10th, 2023, changed everything. That night, I didn't just see a ghost. I raced it, and I've got the dashcam footage to prove I'm not crazy. Or maybe it proves I am. It was just shy of midnight, and I was rolling eastbound out of Austin, a speck of a town clinging to the mountains like a forgotten memory. The air was crisp, the kind of cold that seeps through your cab's seals no matter how high you crank the heat. My headlights sliced through the dark, catching jackrabbits darting across the asphalt. Then about 5 miles out, I saw it. A semi ahead, no trailer, just a lone tractor weaving like a drunkard at half my speed. Its taillights flickered red, weak as dying embers. I eased off the throttle, figuring I'd give the guy space. Some drivers get squirrely this late, but he didn't straighten out. If anything, the swaying got worse. I hit my high beams, flashing twice to signal I'd pass. No response. The truck just kept its lazy zigzag, hugging the center line. "Come on, buddy," I muttered, tapping the wheel. I dropped a gear and swung into the left lane, my rig's growl filling the silence. That's when I looked over, and froze. The cab's window was down, and in the glow of my lights, I saw the driver. Or rather, I didn't. There was a body slumped at the wheel, shoulders, arms, a faded flannel shirt, but no head. Just a jagged stump where a neck should have been, like someone had taken a chainsaw to it. My stomach lurched. I slammed the gas, my tires screaming as I shot past, heart hammering so hard I thought it'd crack my ribs. I didn't look back until I'd put a mile between us. My mirrors showed nothing but black. No lights, no truck, just the road stretching into nowhere. My dashcam's little red light blinked at me from the windshield mount, timestamp glowing, 11:58 p.m. I'd check it later, I told myself. Proof I wasn't losing it. But deep down, I already knew. That wasn't a living man I'd seen. The next morning, I rolled into Fallon, hands still shaky on the wheel. I pulled into Joe's garage, a greasy spoon and mechanic stop where I'd swapped stories with locals 100 times. Joe, a wiry guy with a beard like steel wool, was under a pickup when I walked in. "You look like hell, Sam," he said, sliding out on his creeper. I didn't argue. I told him what I'd seen, every detail from the weaving truck to the headless shadow. His wrench clattered to the concrete. "You met old Cutter," he said, voice low. "Trucker named Ray Cutler. Died back in '74, right around there. Load of timber shifted, snapped a chain, and..." He drew a finger across his throat. "Came off clean. Highway patrol found the cab 100 yards off the road, him still strapped in. Folks say he never left. Drives that stretch when the moon's thin, looking for something. Or someone." I stared at him, waiting for the punchline. Joe didn't laugh. "You're not the first," he added. "Last year, a guy came through, said he saw a rig with no driver, same spot. Swore it chased him to the county line." My skin prickled. Chased? I hadn't stuck around to find out if it would have followed me. But the idea lodged in my brain like a splinter. Back in my truck, I popped the dashcam's SD card and plugged it into my laptop. The footage was grainy, the night a smear of shadows, but there it was. The semi, swaying across the lane, my lights flashing as I pulled alongside. The timestamp read 11:58 p.m., just like I remembered. The cab window was a black hole, no face, no details, just darkness where a head should have been. I rewound it, paused, zoomed. Nothing clearer. But the truck was real. I wasn't dreaming. I called my dispatcher, Mike, that afternoon. He's a no-nonsense guy, all gruff voice and cigarette rasp, but when I played the clip over the phone, dashcam audio crackling through, he went quiet. Sam, you sure you didn't nod off? Desert does weird shit to your head. I told him I'd been wide awake, caffeine buzzing in my veins. Then I ain't routing you through there no more, he said finally. Take 80 next time. I don't care if it's longer. I didn't argue, but I couldn't shake the feeling that avoiding US 50 wouldn't be enough. A week later, I was back on the road, Interstate 80 this time, safer, busier. I thought I'd left it behind. Then, at a truck stop near Lovelock, I overheard two drivers at the counter. Saw something weird on 50 last night. One said, a big guy with a beard like a bear trap. Semi with no trailer, weaving like it was lost. Passed it, but my CB went nuts, static, then a voice all garbled. Sounded like help. The other guy laughed, but bear trap didn't. Ain't been back since. My coffee went cold in my hands. A voice? My CB had been off that night, old habit, I liked the quiet, but now I wondered. What if it had spoken? What if it wasn't just driving aimlessly? What if it wanted something from me? I couldn't let it go. Call it stubbornness or stupidity, but 2 months later, I took US 50 again. Not for work, Mike would have fired me, but for answers. I loaded my dash cam with a fresh card, strapped a GoPro to the passenger headrest, and taped a flashlight to my console. If old Cutter showed up, I'd be ready. The moon was a sliver, just like Joe said, and the clock ticked toward midnight as I hit the stretch near Austin. At 11:56 p.m., my headlights caught it. The same semi, no trailer, taillights dim and red. It was ahead, weaving slow, hypnotic. My pulse spiked, but I kept my speed steady, easing closer. This time, I flipped on the CB. Static hissed, then cleared. Nothing. I flashed my lights once, twice. The truck didn't speed up, didn't slow. It just swayed like it was waiting. I pulled alongside, slower this time, the GoPro whirring. The window was down again, and there it was, the body, no head, hands slack on the wheel. But then, oh God, then it moved. The shoulders twitched, the arms jerked, and the wheel turned. The truck veered toward me, tires screeching. I swerved hard, gravel spitting under my rig as I fought to stay on the road. The CB exploded, static, then a voice, low and broken. Where is it? I floored it, my rig roaring as I shot past. The truck didn't follow, but in my mirror, I saw it stop, dead center of the highway, lights fading to black. My hands shook so bad I nearly missed the turnoff to Fallon. When I finally stopped, I rewatched the footage. The GoPro caught it all, the twitch, the veer, the voice. Where is it? Clear as day through the CB's crackle. I showed the new clip to Joe the next day. His face went gray. He's asking for his head, he whispered. Story goes, they never found it after the crash. Timber took it clean off, and the desert kept it. I didn't want to believe him, but the voice, God, that voice, haunted me. What if it wasn't just a ghost? What if it was trapped, searching, and I'd crossed its path twice now? I quit driving US 50 after that. Moved my routes north, stuck to bright highways with traffic and noise. But I kept the footage, both clips, on a thumb drive I never watch. Last month, though, Mike called. Got a new guy, says he saw something on 50. No-headed driver, asked him, where is it on the CB? You ever figure that out? I hung up without answering. Sometimes late at night, I hear static in my dreams, a hiss, then that voice, echoing through the void. Where is it? I don't know what it wants, but I know one thing. I'm never going back to find out. The loneliest road can keep its secrets and its ghosts. They say truckers see things on the road no one else does. Maybe it's the long nights, the isolation, or the endless miles that play tricks on your mind. But I know what I heard that night, and I know what my phone recorded. It was August 5th, 2019. I was hauling lumber south on I-75 near Grayling, Michigan, just another quiet run through the North Woods. The highway was empty, save for the occasional set of headlights far in the distance. The night was thick, no moon, just the glow of my rig's dashboard and the humming of the tires against asphalt. Then, at exactly 2:03 a.m., I heard it. A scream, piercing, raw, the kind that drills into your brain and freezes your blood. It wasn't a coyote, not an animal. It was a woman, and she was in pure, gut-wrenching terror. It was coming from the woods off the highway. I hit the brakes hard, my rig groaning as I pulled onto the shoulder. My first thought, an accident. Someone had veered off the road, maybe crashed into the trees. I grabbed my flashlight and jumped down from the cab. The air was heavy, humid, and dead silent aside from the occasional rustling leaves. "Hello," I called out, stepping toward the tree line. "Is someone there?" No answer. I clicked on my flashlight and swept it over the roadside, searching for tire marks, broken glass, anything. Nothing. The scream had come from somewhere deep in the woods, but now, nothing but silence. I should have turned back, but something gnawed at me. Maybe she was hurt, too weak to call again. Maybe she needed help. I pushed forward, stepping over branches, my boots crunching against the underbrush. The deeper I went, the darker it got. My flashlight barely cut through the void. Then I heard something. Not a scream. Not a voice. Breathing. Shallow. Ragged. Close. I swung my flashlight around, heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. But the beam caught nothing but trees, their twisted branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. Then, just as suddenly as it had started, the breathing stopped. The silence was deafening. My gut screamed at me to turn back, but my feet wouldn't move. And that's when my phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out, hands trembling. My screen lit up with a new recording. 30 seconds long. I didn't remember starting a recording. But when I played it back, my stomach dropped. The scream. Clear as day. Terrified. Agonized. Then, a whisper. Low, breathy, almost pleading. "Help me." And then nothing. Just static before the recording cut off abruptly. I don't remember running back to my truck, but I must have. The next thing I knew, I was in the driver's seat, doors locked, hands white-knuckling the wheel. My pulse hammered against my skull as I tried to rationalize it. A trick of the wind? A prank? My own mind playing games? But no. My phone had recorded it. The next morning, parked at a rest stop outside Flint, I posted the audio clip on X, captioned it. "Heard this while driving I-75 near Grayling last night. No one was there. Can anyone explain?" It didn't take long for the replies to flood in. Most were jokes, Bigfoot, banshees, some kind of viral stunt. But then, one reply stood out among the rest. "That's where she died." I clicked on the profile. The guy had only a handful of followers, but his next message made my blood turn to ice. In 2001, a woman was hit by a truck on that stretch of I-75. Driver didn't stop. She was alive when a passerby found her, screaming for help. Cops got there too late. I stared at the screen, the words blurring. I had to know more. A quick search led me to an old news article, August 5, 2001. A woman, late 20s, had been struck and left for dead near that exact mile marker. No arrests. Case unsolved. I checked the timestamp on my recording again. August 5, 2019. 2:03 a.m. 18 years later. Same place. Same time. I haven't driven that route at night since. But I still have the recording. And every time I play it back, the air gets heavy, and I swear I can feel something watching. Listening. Waiting. Maybe she's still out there, trapped in the moment of her final scream, reaching out to anyone who will hear her. And that night I did. The question is, was I supposed to? I've spent most of my life on the road. Trucking isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Long nights, endless highways, and rest stops that feel like ghost towns. I've seen it all. Accidents that turn pavement into graveyards, strange figures standing too close to the road at night, even the occasional hitchhiker who seemed to vanish into thin air. But nothing prepared me for what happened that night outside Tulsa. I was hauling a load of auto parts from Dallas to Kansas City. It was a long drive, and I'd been pushing hard to make my deadline. The stretch of highway I was on was dark, nearly empty, the kind of road where the only company you have is the glow of your dashboard and the distant red taillights of another truck miles ahead. I was beyond exhausted. When a rest stop appeared on the side of the highway, I knew I had to pull over before I fell asleep at the wheel. It wasn't much, just a couple of picnic tables, a flickering street lamp, and a few vending machines. No other trucks, no cars. Just me and the night. But I didn't care. I just needed a few hours of shut-eye. I pulled in, set the brakes, and locked the doors. I always triple-check the locks. Ever since hearing stories of truckers being robbed, or worse, I never take chances. My doors were locked. My cab was secure. No one was getting in. Climbing into my sleeper, I settled onto the mattress and let exhaustion pull me under. The sound of the wind rattling against the truck was oddly soothing, and despite the eerie stillness of the rest stop, I felt safe. Until I woke up. At first, I wasn't sure why. The truck was still. The outside was silent. But something was wrong. I couldn't move. My limbs felt heavy, my breath caught in my throat. Sleep paralysis? Maybe. But then I heard it. Breathing. Slow. Steady. Deep. Right behind me. I tried to convince myself it was my own breath, but I wasn't breathing that deep, and this sound was too close. My body was facing the sleeper's wall, but I could feel someone behind me. The mattress had a slight dip, as if someone was lying there. Then I felt movement. The blankets shifted, ever so slightly. The breathing grew heavier. My heart hammered in my chest, my fingers twitched, desperate to move, to fight, to do anything, but my body remained frozen. And then a whisper. A voice, so close to my ear I felt the breath against my skin. "You left the door open." I jerked awake with a gasp, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst. I scrambled upright, my hands immediately checking the door locks. Still locked. The cab was empty. The blankets were where I had left them. I was alone, but the bed beside me was still warm. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. Instead, I climbed into the driver's seat and stared at the sleeper behind me, gripping the steering wheel like it was a lifeline. By dawn, I convinced myself it had been a nightmare. Just my exhausted mind playing tricks on me. But deep down, I knew better. At a truck stop diner the next morning, I sat at the counter, staring into my coffee like it might have answers. An older trucker sat beside me, eyeing me curiously. "Rough night?" he asked. I hesitated before telling him. I expected him to laugh or call me crazy, but he just went pale. "Where'd you sleep?" he asked. I told him about the rest stop outside Tulsa. He let out a slow breath. "Yeah, that happens sometimes." A chill ran down my spine. "What do you mean?" The old trucker stirred his coffee. "There used to be a guy who'd rob sleeping truckers at that stop. He'd slip into their cabs while they were sleeping, take their cash, sometimes steal their rigs. But one night, he picked the wrong truck." I leaned in. "What happened?" The old man's voice dropped. "Driver woke up. Fought back. Killed him." My stomach twisted. "And?" He took a sip of coffee before answering. "And they never found the body." The diner felt too quiet all of a sudden. My hands went clammy. He tapped the counter. "Truckers say he still tries to crawl into cabs at night, looking for an unlocked door. Looking for someone too tired to fight back." He met my eyes. "You're lucky. You locked your door." I didn't respond. I just paid my bill, got back in my truck, and put as many miles between me and that rest stop as possible. But even now, years later, I still check my locks 3 times before I sleep. And every now and then, in the dead of night, I wake up feeling like someone's in the cab with me. Listening. Breathing. Waiting to see if I forgot to lock my door.